breaking news coming in. This one from Himachal Pradesh, where former Union Minister Anand Sharma has resigned from the chairmanship of Steering Committee of Himachal Pradesh Congress. So after J&K, another crisis for Congress, and this time it is in Himachal Pradesh, where Anand Sharma has quit from his post as a chief of Congress steering panel. A big setback coming in for the Congress in Himachal Pradesh. We'll go across to Ishwarya as well to get his perspective on this big setback coming in for the Congress in Himachal Pradesh, with Anand Sharma now resigning from his post in Himachal. We are also told that disgruntled Anand Sharma has also written to the top brass. So there is a lot of disgruntlement is what we understand within the party leaders in Himachal as well. So it's not just in J&K, trouble only mounting there for the Grand Old Party, as Anand Sharma has now quit from his post and has also written to the Congress top brass, to the Congress chief Sonia Gandhi. So that is the latest coming in. Back-to-back setbacks for the Congress after Ghulam Nabi's resignation in J&K. It's Anand Sharma in Himachal who's resigned from the chairmanship of Steering Committee of Himachal Pradesh Congress. So back-to-back setbacks coming there for Anand Sharma, beg your pardon, for Congress, and this one from Himachal Pradesh, where Anand Sharma has resigned from his post. So clearly setback and crisis only brewing there in Himachal Pradesh as well. Remember, Anand Sharma has been a union minister himself. He's resigned, in fact, in the letter that he's addressed to Sonia Gandhi, where he has written that self-respect is non-negotiable and wasn't invited to key meetings. So Anand Sharma there penning a note to Sonia Gandhi saying that his self-respect has been compromised, it is non-negotiable, and that he was not invited to key meetings. Remember, similar sentiment has been shared by a lot of disgruntled Congress leaders in the past few days. And now we have Anand Sharma, who's written a letter to the Congress top brass citing that his self-respect has been compromised. Well, we'll try and get a few reactions as well, but that's the breaking news coming in at this hour. Back-to-back setbacks there for the Grand Old Party. Another jolt for the Congress, and this time it is in Himachal Pradesh, where Anand Sharma has resigned from his post. Well, we'll go across to our reporters as well to get more reactions, to track all reactions coming in with respect to this big breaking news coming in from Himachal Pradesh. Anand Sharma, we understand, has written to Congress President Sonia Gandhi saying that his self-respect is non-negotiable. He's also written a letter to Sonia Gandhi where he has cited that he was not attended to some key meetings, which is why his self-respect has been hurt, and that it cannot be compromised, following which he has resigned as the chairman of Himachal Pradesh Congress Steering Committee. We have our executive editor Ishwarya also joining us. Ishwarya, help us read into this, another setback coming in for the Grand Old Party.
Absolutely, and as we've been saying, the Congress Party, the undecisiveness in the Congress Party, the directionlessness right at the top is now showing it out. It has happened a dozen times prior, and if the same directionlessness persists, then we are going to see this further ahead. Because if you just see, senior most leader, former cabinet minister, former law minister Anand Sharma is writing that his self-respect is of much more importance to him. That means that, like the others, right from Jagdambika Pal to RPN Singh to Jyotiraditya Scindia, the Gandhis have just refused to even turn their heads towards Anand Sharma, to even listen to his concerns. Because that has been the point, right from Himanta Biswa Sharma to Jagdambika Pal. Everyone has been saying that whenever the party is in trouble, whenever they try to reach out to the top leaders of the Congress, there is only one family, that is the Gandhis, they just refuse to talk. They only want their way on the highway. They are just refusing to listen to the cadre. They are refusing to listen to the top leaders, and that's why they have been forced in one way or the other to leave the Congress Party. And that's exactly what Anand Sharma has also written in his letter, directly written to Sonia Gandhi. Yes, at one point of time, he was one of the closest to Sonia Gandhi. Yes, at one point of time, he was the most respected within the Congress Party, but times have changed. And it's very clear that the complete directionlessness and the way Rahul Gandhi wants to run the party is not the way Anand Sharma would want it to be. Or for that matter, even Jyotiraditya Scindia would have wanted it to be. And that is that their self-respect that they need They say that they are leader of the masses. They have been with the party. They just want to be heard. They just want their point of view to be put across. And that is something which is not happening within the Congress party. And that's why you see these top leaders of the Congress party now completely leaving the party. And the reason they are giving is something which should really put an alert mode within the Congress party. They are saying that their self-respect, this is the first and foremost for any senior leader. But the problem is that in the Congress, if you're not a Gandhi, if you don't have that last name, you're not respected. And that's the problem which these senior leaders are now facing.
Yes. Well, Aishwarya, stay with us. We have BJP's RP Singh as well. Sir, if I can get your quick reaction, it's another state, similar sentiment that the concerns of the Congress leaders, they are not being heard by the top brass. Your reaction?
Well, this has happened immediately after Kashmir now. In Kashmir, Azad Saab has expressed his concern and expressed his resentment on the way the party is functioning just recently. Now it's Himachal. This clearly shows all is not well. Earlier, as Aishwarya was saying, whether it was Jyotiraj Scindia or even now Sachin Pilot in Rajasthan, for that regard, people are not satisfied the way the party is functioning. And they feel that you need to have the last name, Gandhi name, otherwise you will not be allowed to function in a democratic fashion in the party. So there is strong resentment, and I welcome this step, whether that there will be at least some democracy within the opposition party, the leading opposition party also.
Yes. Yes, and sir, do you think it's high time now that the Congress smells the coffee, or do you think it's already too late?
Well, they can build up from any place. You will appreciate that there should be good, strong opposition, which should be not a dynastic party. We should be a party of the congressmen, not the particular family. But that's the problem of the Congress. That's why the Congress is gradually decaying. The reason for Congress to decay is that it's not able to come out of the family. But the clutches of family are so strong that they are not allowing the leaders to work in a democratic fashion. And then gradually, mass leaders are losing scope to work within the party.
All right. Thank you for speaking to us. So that was BJP's RP Singh also saying that the concerns of the Congress leaders there are not being heard, are not being addressed, which is why we are seeing back-to-back setbacks for the Grand Old Party. This time from Himachal Pradesh, where Anand Sharma has quit from the Himachal Congress panel. In fact, he's penned a letter as well to Sonia Gandhi saying that he was not invited to key meetings and that his self-respect has been hurt. Remember, Himachal is all set to go for polls as well. So ahead of the crucial state polls, back-to-back setbacks coming in for the Congress, and this time it is in Himachal Pradesh, where a leader has cited a similar concern that has been voiced by several other leaders in other states as well. Well, we'll try and get more reactions, but remember, Himachal Pradesh is all set to go for polls as well. And in the backdrop of this, we have another setback coming in for the Grand Old Party. Anand Sharma, who's been the union minister himself, he has now quit from his post in Himachal Pradesh. It remains to be seen if Congress, if at all, comes up with any answers with regard to what is happening within the Grand Old Party. But remember, this is something which has been voiced by several other leaders as well. We've seen the situation that has unfolded in J&K for that matter, where several leaders have cited the same concerns that they are not being heard by the top brass. And now we have Anand Sharma, who's been a union minister. He has been the chief of the Congress panel, the steering committee, and he's resigned from this post, citing that he's not being heard and his concerns are not being addressed by the Grand Old Party. Well, we'll try and get more reactions on this, but another setback, another jolt for the Grand Old Party, and this time it is in Himachal Pradesh, days after we saw the fiasco unfold in J&K, where Ghulam Nabi Azad also quit from his post right after being appointed as panel head. So back-to-back setbacks coming in for the Grand Old Party, and this time it's in Himachal Pradesh ahead of the crucial polls.